Hello, hello there, my crafty friends. It's Candy here from SweetStamper.com, and I'm going to share with you a tutorial for how to make a one-sheet wonder with a 6x6" piece of designer series paper. Now, I did a version of this on a Facebook Live, but I wanted to give you just a clean video and also simplify the cards a little bit, because really I want you to concentrate on the actual 6x6 one-sheet wonder. You can dress it up or down once you get this part done, but let me go through exactly how you're going to cut your paper. This works best when you use a small pattern, and I prefer to have a pattern that has a couple of different colors in it for your layers. So let's start with our 6x6 piece of paper. Now, before I do that, let me just show you. We are going to do two horizontal or landscape style cards. Then we're going to also do two of your portrait style cards. So this makes 4 coordinating cards. Okay, so let's take our 6x6 piece and we're going to cut it in half. So 6x3. Now, one of these I'm going to cut in half this way. And I'm going to just lay these aside like this to deal with them in a few minutes. The other piece I'm going to do 3x3. So I just cut this into fourths, okay? Now, I like to deal with this. I like to do this where they're in pairs because it's just easier for me to think that way. So I'm going to, first of all, take and mount one of these on a 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 inch piece of Night of Navy cardstock. So just a mat. So I've got 3x3 designer paper, and I am adhering it to 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. Okay, so that's our simplest one right there. Now I'm going to take that's a little bit off. It'll be okay. We'll trim this side down just a wee bit. I don't know if you guys ever do that, but well, you know what? I don't even need to do that. I think it's going to be fine once I stick it down. It's ever so slightly to the right. Okay, so my next piece, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this on the diagonal. Now, I like to just put the corners into the little trough of my paper trimmer. Now, I shifted it once I want to make sure you don't shift it. And I'm going to cut this on the diagonal, and I'm going to take my 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 Night of Navy piece, and I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm just going to put it in the trough, line up my corners in the trough, and then slice. Now, I'm going to go ahead and stick these down because I don't want to get them out of sequence. So this is the way I like to do it. It makes it super simple for me so that I don't get the pieces mixed up. Whoopsie. Now this is going to be a very tight, this is going to be what I call a micro layer because we've cut this. So there we go. And then here's the other half. And I'm going to get that. I just got, this is what you should not do, is use your trimmer underneath you to do your gluing, but I didn't want to be pulling it back and forth on camera. Okay, so now I have these pieces that match. So there's my sliced square. So there's 1, 2. Now I'm going to take the next one here, and I'm going to cut this into 3x1 inch pieces, and I'm going to keep them in order. So this is another reason why I didn't want to be pulling my my trimmer back and forth, because I want to keep my pieces in order. 3x1, I'm making 3 pieces of 3x1, and I'm going to mat these on 3 pieces of 3 1/4 by 1 1/4 Night of Navy cardstock. So you see, I want to keep these in, I want to keep that pattern in sequence. So now I'm going to go 1, and then 2, And I mean, you know, you can put little stickers on them and all kinds of things. I'm a quick and easy girl, and I want it to come together quickly. So I'm putting them together and keeping them in order in such a way that I can find them in the right spot. Okay, here's mine. And then my final piece, because they kind of get a little bit more complex with each set. And then the last piece, I'm going to cut into 4 squares at 1 1/4 by 1 1/4. Sorry, not 1 1/4, 1 1/2 by 1 1/2. I'm cutting them in half again, okay? So I'm just gonna cut this. Again, I wanna keep these in order. So I'm just going to make sure that they stay where I can easily find them in the right sequence. Now this is a great way to make a stack of cards quickly and easily, and really to highlight some of our beautiful, beautiful designer series papers. It's one of my favorite things to design with. And I'm going to use just a simple, sentiment stamp. So just some simple words. So this is, oh, did I get it out of order? No, I didn't. Okay, so this is where they're gonna go. And you can see that, I can move this now. You can see that that's gonna be a tight fit. So again, kind of a narrow frame. But I like to kind of look at it first to see. I'm basically doing like a 1/16 and just splitting up my pattern that way. So let's go ahead and put a little bit of adhesive on the back of each one of these, put them in order, and then we are ready to assemble the cards. Now I have a PDF tutorial that gives you all the measurements of the designer paper, you know, the cups I made, as well as the measurements for all of these matte layers. And that way you have it as a reference, okay? Now, let me show you. That one's gonna actually go on one more layer. So with this one, we give it a little extra to help it have a little bit more presence. Okay, now we are going to start. I like to start with the portraits first. So I am going to take my simplest square, and I'm going to just place it right up here. I have made 4 thank yous because these are all going to be thanks, and I've just used my lasting label punch from the annual catalog, and I've used the Biggest Wish stamp set also from the annual catalog, and I will create 4 really simple thank you cards. So for those of us who send out quite a few thank you cards, this is a really cool way to get quite a bit, quite a few cards done in a very reasonable amount of time. And I also like that this makes a really pretty gift. Now I could bring it down like this or like this, you know, you can do all kinds of things with this. Kind of depends on the pattern you have behind you. Now I do have a few of these bows that go with my fresh freesia, and I went ahead and so you can see what I mean about you can dress this up or down. So, you know, I'm just wanting to concentrate on the actual one sheet wonder with the 6x6 paper. You could stamp some here, you could put a layer here with, you know, some dry embossing, you know, from your Big Shot. Oh, I got this off a little bit again. I don't know why. I keep moving things a little bit too far to the right for some reason today. Just lift this, add a little bit more adhesive. There we go. And see if I can't eyeball that a little bit better. Okay. So super quick and easy. Now, I would probably add a few rhinestones or something. I think I didn't bring, yeah, there's my glue dot, it's still on the paper. So, super simple, sweet, very pretty. I love the colors in this paper. Okay, let's do card number 2, and we're going to do the same thing, but this time we're going to do it with our little split triangle. So let's bring this up like so, and I just want to make sure that I am bringing that a little bit over to the left because I'm going to have a gap here, and I have to make room for that to have some space. So that's where you can see what I mean there. And just a little gap there, and then boom, there's my thanks again. So you can see how each one is going to kind of build on the other to create these cards that have a lot of interest. Now, I've done this with several different sets of papers. So when you go to my blog, you can find my blog. It's at sweetstamper.com. And you can see several versions of this. In fact, when I do the tutorial, I may just go ahead and put the photos of those in there. So there's card number 1, card number 2. Let's move on to card number 3. Now I'm going to do the horizontals. So make sure I'm in the right position. Now I like to put the center one on first. So let's get that one in the middle. And then you can choose to either kind of space these out a little bit. I like to put them kind of close so that you see the pattern coming through. There we go. With just a little bit of cardstock in between there. I love the contrast of the Night of Navy with the fresh freesia. And little pops of Calypso Coral and Parakeet Party. Crushed curry. There we go. And then we are going to take our thanks right like this. And I think I'm going to run out of bows here because I think I didn't make quite enough, but I think I know where there we go. I'm just going to kind of center it right there, give it a little bit of extra kind of interest. And then I've got one glue dot right here that didn't come with me last time. So let's put that like so. So now there's card number 3. This is one of my favorites. I love the 3 panels like that. And then last but not least, we're going to do card number 4. So we've added an extra piece, an extra layer. So like I said, you can dress all of these up with the extra layer, but I think the initial kind of technique, as it were, is the One Sheet Wonder using the 6x6, and then you can keep it simple like I did, or you can really, really elaborate. So there is going to be my center. Grab a couple of dimensionals, and then I'm going to grab my ribbon and do a little bit of ribbon work there. Now you can see how, you know, pearls, rhinestones, all kinds of fun things that would really dress these up. You could add more ribbon, you could do extra stamping on the backgrounds, but for this video, I wanted to keep it super simple. So my original that I did on Facebook Live, I actually did have another piece of designer series paper under here as a layer on 2 of them, and on 2 of them I did like a 2-inch piece by 5.5-inch piece. So I will link that so that you can see that as well. But now you know the basics of this 6x6 One Sheet Wonder for coordinating cards. So let me show you where we are here. So there is card number 4, card number 3, card number 2, and card number 1. So we take these squares and we just add a little bit of detailing each time, where we split the square into 2 triangles. Here we split it into 3 rectangles, and then here we split it into 4 little squares. So that is it for my One Sheet Wonder with a 6x6 inch piece of designer series paper. Thanks again for watching. Be sure to subscribe to my channel here at sweetstamper.com. Take care and God bless.